day. We can't keep on with the same old, same old. We must push the envelope and not be afraid to come together and find solutions for everyone in the city. Our city needs forward-thinking, common-sense leaders to bring our city back. I am a lifetime New Yorker, mother of 3, and a 40-year Upper West Side resident. I am a third-generation New Yorker from a family of small business owners. They taught me the importance of giving back to my community, so I'm stepping up here to help bring our city back. My name is Maria Danzilo, and I'm running for the 6th District, New York City City Council. Thank you all, and for that, I would like to hand this over now to my fellow Democrat, Tony Herbert, candidate for Public Advocate. Thank you.
Good afternoon. First and foremost, thank you guys for this opportunity to stand with some common sense, thought-provoking individuals who, for the most part, just want to see our city get a lot better. My name is Tony Herbert. I'm running for New York City Public Advocate. Having had the experience of working in government for a number of years, I see that we're doing the same thing that we've been doing for the last 30 years, talking about the same problems. It's time for change. It's time for us to exact the conversation that's necessary to move our community forward. The Common Sense Coalition that I'm actually I'm proud to be a part of speaks directly to that. So I'm not going to be redundant, because you're going to hear us say that we're in sync with a lot of what's going on in our community that needs to be changed. That being said, we definitely cannot defund our police. We need to refund. We need to give them an opportunity with the right resources to keep us safe. So those that would have that conversation need to go somewhere else, because New York is not the place for them. We need New York to be exactly what it is. The once called the biggest safe city in the world. We needed to get back to that, and we can't do it without our police officers. At the same time, we need our businesses back open. And you're going to hear this again and again and again, because we all get it. We're just trying to make sure that other folks get it that are in office, that realize that they are not doing their job. And that's why we've come together. So I'm not going to be long-winded. I'm just going to say it's time to get to work. It's time to put rubber to the road, and let us get out here and get New York back to what it is, the shining apple we know it to be. I'm Tony Herbert, and I'm running for New York City Public Advocate.
I got it. Thank you, Tony. Hi, everyone. I'm going to pull this down. Hello, everyone. My name is Maud Marin, and I'm a Democrat running for City Council right here in District 1 in Lower Manhattan. As you've heard, we are common sense candidates, and that probably shouldn't be newsworthy, but is right now, because we need some common sense in New York City. I have lived in New York City for 3 decades now, and my city has been an extraordinarily safe city. It's gotten safer and safer until last year. And we need elected leaders who are willing to speak honestly and practically about what we need to do to change that, to stop the rise in crime that we've been seeing in our neighborhoods. And one of the reasons that we came together is to have this conversation about safety, but we also need to talk about getting our schools open. On March 13th, we will mark 1 year of having closed schools. I have 4 New York City public school children who need to go back to school. We have hundreds and thousands of students in New York City who have not seen the inside of a classroom for almost an entire year now. We also have 1/3 of New York City small businesses have closed, and we need to both support the businesses that have hung on and that have served us all so well during this pandemic, but we also need to make New York City a city that new businesses and new enterprises can come to. And that requires both making sure that we have a safe city and making sure that our schools are open. That goes hand in hand with recovering from the pandemic. To tell you a little bit about myself, as I mentioned, I'm a mom of 4 children who are in New York City public schools. I am a public defender. I am an elected community education council member. And I will tell you, as I've worked in my community around issues of schools, it's very clear that people want practical, common sense solutions. I'm very proud to have served on a team that sought and secured a $2.6 million grant to integrate our district schools. I championed and fought for the first dual language program, universal pre-kindergarten dual language program in our district. Parents want our schools to be great, and they want all students to have the opportunity to learn together. go to the polls, we are going to be electing the majority of city council members. In Manhattan, we will also be electing a district attorney, a Manhattan borough president, and throughout the city, we will be electing a mayor and a controller. That is an enormous amount of change at a moment that's very consequential in the history of New York City. We're at a very important moment of change in our city. So I am enormously proud to stand with these candidates and promote a common sense vision that we can come together around to restore our city and build back an even stronger, better, safer New York City. And I am now going to introduce, we're going alphabetical, so Shaniqua Moore is going to speak to you next. So here she is.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. It is such an honor to be here today and to stand with my fellow colleagues as we have formed this common sense coalition that is so needed in our city. I am Shaniqua Moore. I am running for City Council in District 12, which is the Northeast Bronx. We need true leadership. We need transparent leadership. We need bold, innovative leaders that are going to push our city forward, and that's going to help us recover from the damage of COVID-19. I'm a licensed social worker, and I have seen the effects of COVID on the mental health of all of us. We've all suffered in some kind of way, but who has suffered a lot are our children. They're the most vulnerable. They have suffered from a lot of social isolation and anxiety, and we're calling on our leaders and everyone else as we're forming this coalition to make sure we remember the mental health of our children in this time. A little bit about myself. My background is in social work and policy. I started a nonprofit organization, I Raise Girls and Boys, that has served over 10,000 vulnerable children in New York City. I've been able to raise and bring in over $1 million of funding that went towards youth education and programs for children in New York City. And I intend to do that on a larger scale as I fight to bring back hope and peace for the kids in the Northeast Bronx. I'm proud to be here and to be standing as a second-generation New Yorker, as a Bronx native, and as a mom. My daughter, she has been through a lot remote learning, and all of our kids have. And as my colleague said, we need the Department of Education to open. We need our schools to open. We also need to reimagine our public school education. All of our children deserve access to high-quality education services. And that's what I'm standing for. Thank you so much for being here with us. And I'm going to call now on my colleagues to take us further.
Thank you, Shaniqua. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dimple Willibus. I'm running for New York City Council in District 46. I'm a proud mother of 3, the wife of a retired Marine and an NYPD lieutenant. And I can tell you firsthand that our city, of course, is not the safe city that it used to be. I personally am not comfortable riding the train or the buses like we used to. Our city needs to be restored, and we need to promote and support our NYPD in the way in which we used to, in a common sense approach. Many times our elected officials are very afraid to come out and stand. They're like candles in the wind, blowing. We cannot afford that anymore. The safety of our streets are extremely important for small businesses to function, for small businesses to come into our communities, for schools and children to be able to walk the streets and have safe streets to go to school, for our seniors to feel secure when they're traversing through their communities. These are things we have to stop and think about. I always tell people, before the NYPD is called, things have already gone bad. We have to stop and check and examine what our elected officials in our communities are doing for us and not the other way around. We have to hold our elected officials, our city council members, our mayor, we have to hold them accountable. And we have to support a common sense approach for our safety and our NYPD in our community. My background, I am a small business owner. I'm a first Guyanese American. I was on the Mayor de Blasio's education task force. I was Eric Adams' education appointee, and I held a position as a president for the Community Education Council. I have a nonprofit which this next month will be 5 years old, and we've served our youth during the pandemic over the past year. We were the only organization in our community that served 1 million pounds of food, as well as over 80,000 masks. As a business owner, we were able to rise to the occasion, and as a leader in our community, these are things we need. We need leaders who have the spine to stand up and advocate on our behalf, not to step and shy away. Many of us have not seen our elected officials during the past year. When we need our leadership, when something is actually happening in our community, that's when we need to have our elected officials come out and actually support us. When we the Common Sense Coalition, are actually not asking for something that's impossible or speaking on something that is totally out of this world. It's something very simple. It's a common sense approach. We need our streets to be safe. How are we going to get our streets safe? We need our NYPD. We need to support and we need to back the blue. Thank you.
Hi everybody, thank you for coming. Hi everybody, thank you for coming. My name is Donghui Zhang. I'm running for City Council in District 29, which is Forest Hill, Rigo Park, Kew Garden, and Richmond Hills. I run for education and safety. Education. I was born in China in a very small village. We don't have electricity until I was 8 years old. I came to United States to study. I got my PhD in Rice University, Houston, Texas, and then later I came to Wall Street to work as a financial analyst. So it was education that changed my life. I have settled in Forest Hill, New York for 20 years. So I'm sad to see that New York City spent twice of national average budget per public student, while only yielding less than half students can read or do math in the grade level. So I want to run so that we can take away politics from education, so that we can fix our underperforming schools, so that we can make every student can learn and to pursue their American dreams as they deserve, as that I could. So for safety, New York City is not safe anymore. For the past year, in 2020, murder up by 41%, shooting victims up by 99%, and people were attacked, were pushed in subway randomly by strangers, and crime anywhere. So, and also in the end of May and beginning of June, in only those 10 days, 450 stores were destroyed, and 400 police officers were 250 police officers were injured, and 400 police cars were destroyed. So the city was in such a chaos. If you ask every store owner, they say in this time we need more police, but not less police. But it is our current mayor and our current city council, they want to defund the police at the time that we need our police most. Our state legislature and our city legislature, they approved the no cash bail justice reform that will just make the things even worse. So criminals, people who committed crimes, they will just catch and release. So they commit crimes again and again without consequence. And thousands of inmates were pre-released from Rikers Island. All these kind of things, so make our city in big danger, make our city not safe anymore. Especially the Asians have become the biggest target for the recent times, for the recent 2 months. On February 16th, three incidents happened attacking the Asian in one day. And in few days ago, a man was stabbed in Chinatown. He lost one of his kidney. And that guy who committed the crime, he was already committed twice before, and he committed a crime again, and he was still not charged with his crime yet. So we have to stop this. That's why I want to run. I run for safety. That's why I want to run with my colleagues who we share the common sense. We want to support our NYPD. We want to support our police because they sacrifice their life for the benefits of our community and our property. So we want to bring back common sense to City Council. We want to bring back law and order, safety and justice to our streets, to our parks, to our subway, and to our city, and to our people. Okay, thank you. Tony? Oh, you did. Okay, thank you.
That was a great ending, though, right?
Thank you. Well, my English is not that perfect, but I think we all share the same value. Thank you.
That was a great ending.
Thank you.
Thank you everybody for coming. Really appreciate it today. So we'll see you in City Hall, we hope. Okay.
Yeah.